Hello to all my fellow 40-somethings. I'm Bernd, and I'm delighted to welcome you to the Great 40s, a place where we celebrate the dynamic and rewarding journey of life in our 40s. Let's cut through the noise about what your 40s are supposed to be. Forget the tired narratives about midlife crises and declining relevance. The truth? Your 40s might just be your most powerful decade yet. At 40-something, you're standing at a unique intersection. Behind you lies enough experience to know what works and what doesn't. Ahead of you stretches decades of potential still untapped. You've gathered wisdom but aren't too set in your ways. You understand your limitations but have learned they're rarely as restrictive as you once believed. I see it in my own life and in friends who've embraced this decade fully. We're making career pivots that would have terrified our 30-year-old selves. We're starting businesses, going back to school, learning instruments, running marathons, and falling in love, sometimes for the first time, sometimes all over again. Your 40s offer a sweet spot that younger decades simply can't match. You've developed actual skills and competencies. You understand your strengths and weaknesses without the delusions of youth or the defensiveness that often accompanies them. You've weathered enough storms to know you'll survive the next one. But there's something else happening too. The relentless pressure to figure it all out has likely subsided. You've stopped measuring your life against arbitrary timelines. The constant comparison to peers has, hopefully, lost its sting. You've witnessed enough of life's unpredictability to recognize that no path is guaranteed, so you might as well choose one that excites you. This combination, increased capability paired with decreased concern about external validation, creates fertile ground for transformation. I'm too old to start over. That ship has sailed. I missed my chance. These statements feel true when we say them, but they rarely stand up to scrutiny. Julia Child discovered cooking at 36 and published her first cookbook at 49. Vera Wang didn't design her first dress until 40. Samuel L. Jackson didn't land his breakout role until 43. Ray Kroc was 52 when he bought McDonald's and revolutionized fast food. Grandma Moses began painting at 78 and became one of America's most famous folk artists. The too late narrative isn't just discouragingly wrong, it's dangerous. It keeps us trapped in situations that no longer serve us, clinging to paths we've outgrown simply because we've already invested time in them. This is the sunk cost fallacy at its most life-limiting. The truth is, you likely have decades ahead of you. Starting something new at 40 or 45 still gives you 20-plus years to develop mastery before retirement age, if retirement is even on your radar. Many of us will work into our 70s by choice, pursuing passions that energize rather than deplete us. If time isn't the real obstacle to reinvention in your 40s, what is? In my experience, these are the actual barriers. Fear of looking foolish. There's vulnerability in being a beginner, especially when you've grown accustomed to competence in other areas. But consider this. The discomfort of being a novice is temporary. The regret of never trying could be permanent. Financial constraints. By your 40s, you've likely accumulated responsibilities, mortgages, children's education, aging parents. These are real considerations, not simply excuses. The solution isn't to abandon dreams, but to approach them strategically. Start small, build gradually, consider side hustles that can eventually become main hustles. Identity attachment. After decades of being known as the accountant or the teacher, shifting identities feels disorienting. You wonder, who am I if not that person? Remember that you're not erasing your past, you're expanding your story. Beginning a new chapter in your 40s comes with distinct advantages rarely discussed. You make smarter choices about where to invest your energy. You're less likely to chase shiny objects or be swayed by what others are doing. You choose paths aligned with your authentic self, not external expectations. You bring transferable skills from previous chapters. The project management expertise from your corporate job serves your new bakery business. The communication skills honed in teaching enhance your work as a therapist. Nothing is wasted. You appreciate the journey differently. In your 20s, it was all about the destination. Now you understand that growth happens in the messy middle, not just at the triumphant end. Transformation doesn't require dramatic upheaval. Sometimes the most sustainable changes begin with modest shifts. Take a class. Sign up for something that intrigues you without worrying where it might lead. Allow yourself to explore without the pressure of monetizing or mastering immediately. Connect with people living your what-if life. Most people are surprisingly willing to share their experiences over coffee. These conversations often demystify paths that seem impossible from a distance. Start a 5-year vision journal. Rather than focusing on immediate action steps, allow yourself to dream expansively about what could be possible given adequate time and incremental progress. Dedicate weekend time to your emerging interest. Before making major life changes, test drive your passion in the margins of your existing life. Here's what I know for certain. The only guaranteed way to fail at reinvention is never to begin. 20 years from now, you won't regret the awkward early stages of learning something new nearly as much as you'll regret never trying. Your 40s aren't the time to settle for good enough or resign yourself to that's just how it is. They're the time to acknowledge that the most interesting chapters of your story might still be unwritten. Yes, you have responsibilities. Yes, you have constraints. But within those boundaries exists more room for reinvention than you've allowed yourself to imagine. The question isn't whether it's too late, it's not, but whether you're ready to begin anyway. Imperfectly, gradually, but deliberately, knowing that the person you'll be at 50, 60 and beyond will thank you for your courage today. Thanks for joining me on today's episode. I hope you found it valuable and entertaining. Don't forget to visit my website at great40s.com, where you can find matching articles to all episodes. If you're enjoying the podcast and want to support what I do, you will also find there very affordable subscription options that help keep this show going. Your support means everything to me. Take care and see you at the next episode of The Great 40s.